Comedy Film Nerds Podcast.
It's called the Cloverfield Paradox.
And what is this?
This is the Cloverfield Paradox. Is the next movie in the Cloverfield universe.
Why is there a Cloverfield universe?
I will give a lot of credit to Netflix on their marketing strategy. It was pretty interesting what they did. They released the trailer, the first trailer ever, during the Super Bowl, and said after the Super Bowl you can go watch it on Netflix. So it was They released the trailer and they released the movie on the same day. And
That's
so
brilliant.
Yeah. So that is where the brilliance ends. The movie was absolutely awful. The only paradox is that they called it a movie. And I tell you, it's like at this point, Netflix needs to start paying me per month to watch these horrible movies that they're making. I really feel like Hollywood and Netflix has an agreement. Like Netflix will say, all right, give us the crap that you guys won't release, and we'll pay a premium for it. So it's so ridiculous. It was originally called The God Particle, and it's another example of where they took a script that makes no sense, by the way, and then they would film a couple of scenes in it to put it in the Cloverfield universe. Now, spoiler alert right here, I'm going to tell you right now, is that, most of the movie takes place on a space station. But they're like, well, how does this tie into the Cloverfield universe? And it's like, oh, well, you'll get to see 2 seconds of one of the Cloverfield monsters at the end. That's how it ties in. So it's like if you had a whole movie on a space station and then an X-wing flew by and you went, see, it's a Star Wars movie. That's really what was kind of happening here. And it
Did they just, let me ask you, do you think Netflix just found this thing, bought it, and then slapped some Cloverfield on it?
That's exactly how it felt.
Like they didn't pay for the production, they just...
No, Netflix definitely paid for the production. They bought it from Paramount, but I don't know if they bought the script or if they bought the completed film. I don't know exactly what went down. Whatever happened, though, Netflix did not get their money's worth. So, and I'll say this, it was a bunch of decent actors. It's, no giant names, but all solid actors like Chris O'Dowd, all delivering clunky, horrible dialogue. And it really felt like Netflix or Paramount, whoever made the movie, said, all right, get us some solid actors, but who aren't too expensive.
We've talked about this before, but it obviously bears repeating. There's so much about what Netflix is doing that I love. I mean, this dropping the ad on the Super Bowl, so they spend the $5 million or whatever.
The marketing department gets the credit for this, not the production department.
And they do so many series that are amazing. Their movies are very hit and miss. I mean, Beasts of No Nation, as we talked about, should have got Oscar nominations. It's amazing. It's socially relevant. But then there's like Bright, and then there's this, and then there's the War Machine, or
War Dogs,
or whatever, which was okay. I mean,
and Death Note.
Yeah,
there's more. It's a long string. It's a series of just movies that literally Hollywood didn't want or didn't want to make, and then Netflix picks up, throws a bunch of money at, and makes crappy movies.
Yeah, they're like, at best they're like C plus B minuses, like War Games or War Dogs or whatever was like.
But they're not cheap budgets.
No, they're not. They spend all this massive. It's not like if they were making like $8 million, $10 million movies or 50.
This wasn't a $1 million film. There was money in it. In fact, I don't know if you can pull up the budget on it. It was whatever it was too high. But it was like everything that gets set up, is it a horror movie? Is it like it wants to be Alien? It wants to be a heady science fiction movie. It wants to be in the Cloverfield universe. It wants to be all these things, and it ends up being none of those things.
It's a $26 million budget, which is not exorbitant, but it's...
But if you see the movie, you're like, oh my God, I don't know where that money went. It's not in the special effects. It's not in the cast. It's, I will say this, some of the money may have gone into the production design, like the space station itself looked pretty cool. But again, one location, it's, and, it takes place over a very small amount of time. But The main problem here was the script. The script was just a mess. It made no sense. And then at the end, just it's slapped into the Cloverfield universe. But this is like, Cloverfield doesn't need a universe. It really doesn't. This is, quote, the third movie in the Cloverfield universe. Only one movie actually feels like a Cloverfield movie. You know, even 10 Cloverfield Lane was a movie called The Bunker, and then they just slapped on a couple Cloverfieldy things to make it in the universe. So, but this one was a mess. I'd say the 10 Cloverfield Lane, or AKA The Bunker, much better movie, like from start to finish.
Yeah, the
Cloverfield
Lane's that's a fun movie.
Yeah,
that's really
and it's structured properly. Like this one, like it went all over the place. It was a mess. Like the characters were you didn't care about, and then there was too much time. It was funny to see all the time spent trying to develop characters that you don't care about.
Right.
Like you're like, well, okay, this scene clearly is supposed to make me care about this character, and it's doing the opposite. I now care less because now you've wasted more of my time with nothing happening in this movie. So it was either talking or stuff happening that made no sense, or they tried to throw in some like haunted housey horror movie type scares. So which made even less sense. I
wonder. I mean, I don't know. So $26 million. If it was like an $80 million budget, I'd be like, "What the hell is Netflix doing?" So I don't know. You take $26 million and you take the $5 or $6 million, whatever the 30-second spot on Super Bowl costs, and I don't know. Maybe I've seen articles where people are like, and
this looked like a $5 million movie. Right. This it really.
But
did.
My question here though is, and we've raised this question before, and there's been articles about it. Is Netflix? Can this business model last?
Right, and you're not the only one asking that question.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking
it.
But specific to this project, looking at these numbers, did it pay out for them?
Right.
Because did they get? I mean, did 1 million people watch this movie?
Right. Like
last night or tomorrow,
and it's also
right after the Super Bowl or Monday or something.
How do you interpret the metrics? Like, what happens is like, did you get a bunch of new subscribers to sign up just to see this movie after the Super Bowl? Or did you get a bunch of people that are already subscribed, watch it? Now, can you tell if they liked it or not? And do people retain their subscription because of content?
Well, I think it's the first one. They obviously, if they're going to do this in the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl is people watching on network TV. Now, the Super Bowl has also expanded to the internet because people have cut their cables, so you could have watched it on your laptop or whatever. So my guess is it's the first thing that you said, which is they're like, we're going to spend this $5 million because this is going to get Netflix new subscribers, because that's what they need. They don't need ratings. I mean, if this thing gets a bunch of 5-star or 2-star reviews or 1-star,
it's irrelevant.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
So to me, they probably went, did we get 5? I mean, whatever, 100,000. How? And they know, well, this
enough new eyeballs
to justify this. We're going to get a year's worth, $30 million in new subscribers over the course of a year, or whatever the hell their metric is to figure that out. That's where I go when I look at it from that point. I go, well, maybe this does make sense. Maybe this is.
Well, because what they are doing is they're using top Hollywood talent and just buying the worst things that they have. So it's like, love Will Smith. Bright was awful.
Sure.
J.J. Abrams, I like his work. Star Wars, Force Awakens was fantastic. I love the first Cloverfield. I like the second one too. This is the one that we're like, maybe we shouldn't make this one. No, Netflix comes. No, we'll make it. We'll give you $20-some million for it. That's really what it feels like. And then J.J. Abrams is like, well, okay.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Cloverfield Paradox, not good. I wouldn't. If you already have a subscription, you want to check it out, that's fine, but be warned, it will make no sense. And then I don't know if it's worth coming on board if you're like, I need to see everything J.J. Abrams is associated with. I'm going to start my Netflix subscription right now. So.
Hot shot first.